Everybody, my name is BJ Butler, and this is my first video for parenting. I will do a few videos on the topic of parenting with different topics. Tonight, I'm going to talk about having a routine. Now, why am I doing this? Now, I was a single parent of two girls, and I know that I didn't know everything. There's some things I know I did really well with them, and there's some things I know I did not do really well with them. But one thing that I've learned is that it does take a village to raise a child, and there are different things that the village can bring into the household that will help to make raising a child much better. Now, with that being said, I can say that when it comes to routine, that a routine is very beneficial, not just for you, but for your child as well. I can say that when my daughters were in elementary school, the routine I have for them, and I'm just going to give you the outline of it. By 6:45, they were at the babysitter's house. 7:30, I'm at work. And usually by 7:45, they were walking to school with a group of other kids that the babysitter would take. By 4:45, I'm picking them up, and then by 5 o'clock, we're home. And at that time, at the beginning, at 5 o'clock, it was immediately checking homework and cooking dinner. Until I heard someone explain to me about having a transition period. And I can't remember what they said specifically, but what I took from the message was I needed a transition period. So from 5 o'clock to about 5:10, 5:15, I would tell my daughters that I needed just about 10, 15 minutes to myself. Not trying to explain that to elementary kids, 2 minutes is a lifetime to them. So what I told them was like, you can get a snack, you can get something to drink right now, but let me sit down on the chair, and when I get up, I will feed you, and we'll eat dinner, and then I'll look at your homework then. It took a few days to get used to that for everybody, but I know when I would come home, it became much easier to walk in the house and, metamorphically take off my working hat, hang that up, and then at the end of my 10, 15 minutes, now I'm putting on my daddy hat. And then once I would go into daddy mode, it was much easier because I allowed myself to have that transition period to go from working to home and take care of the girls. Because in the beginning, I felt like I was just going from one job to another, and I shouldn't have felt like that, but that was how I felt at the time. So anyway, back with the routine. So by 6 o'clock, we're already eating dinner, and homework is usually completed by then. And then I say about 6:30 to about 7:15, roughly. All that time is the free time, so they may go outside and play if it's still sunny outside and warm, or go downstairs with the neighbors' kids and play, or stay upstairs and watch TV or whatever it was. It was free time. Usually about 7:15, 7:30. Now it's bathroom preps, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, getting ready for bed. And then by 8 o'clock, sometimes I'll read them a bedtime story. Sometimes I would not, but 8 o'clock was usually bedtime for them. Now, the benefit of having them go to bed at 8 o'clock was because at 8 o'clock, and then you're talking about little kids, elementary kid ages. So 5 minutes they're out because they've had a long day already. So from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock is daddy's time. So at that time, if I want to talk on the phone uninterrupted, I could do that. If I want to watch a movie without hearing someone say, "Daddy, daddy, 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 daddy," I could do it at that time. I hear some parents, younger parents, say they don't have time for anything. And it's like, no, you have time, but if it's not structured time, or the kids are not on a routine, then you won't have time. So having a routine is very beneficial. Not only that, when you get ready to go out, you say maybe you got some babysitter or family members, someone watching your children, especially if they're spending a weekend, let's say, with family members, having a routine makes it so much easier for everybody because now they don't have to feel obligated to try to entertain your kids until they pass out on the floor from playing all night. If your child has a routine of going to bed by 8:30, then they already know by 8 o'clock at the very least they can go ahead and have them wash up and brush their teeth. Um, and at 8:30, they may just say, hey, your mother, your father have you go to bed by this time, and good night, send them off to bed. That makes it easier for them. They'd be more willing, to watch your child in the future, because you will need you will want someone to watch your child, because you will want to go out, you will need some me time. But again, going back to my schedule, 8 to 10 was my time, and then 10 o'clock I like to go to bed early because I like getting some rest. I need at least a good 6 7 hours of sleep before I get up in the next morning. So again, this was just talking about routines. Having a routine for your child is so important, because children, especially elementary kids, they're going to sleep a good 9 to 11 hours. And if you're letting your kids stay up to 11, 12 o'clock at night, or you letting them fall asleep whenever they fall asleep, and I'm not saying that your way is wrong or my way is better. But I will say, your child needs a lot of rest, and you do them a disservice if you allow them to stay up as late as they want, because they really don't know what they need. Um, but I discovered that having a structure for them, having a routine for them, just works for everybody. So I hope this message was beneficial to you, and you can expect to hear more from me in the immediate future. God bless.